ever wish you could like turn those long, boring reports or like super complicated ideas into visuals? Something to make them easier to understand?
Totally.
Well, today we're diving into a tool that can help you do just that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's called Claude 3.7 Sonnet.
Okay.
And it's really like shaking things up in the world of visual communication.
All right, yeah. It is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
You're probably familiar with graphic recordings.
Mm-hmm.
Those visuals that, capture information like meeting notes or like complex concepts.
Right.
Traditionally, someone would hand draw them.
Yeah.
But now with Claude, you can create them digitally.
I'm intrigued. So it sounds like this could be a game changer for anyone who wants to make information easier to digest.
Absolutely.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
We process visuals way faster than text.
Right.
Some studies even suggest it's like 60,000 times faster.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
So with Claude 3.7 Sonnet,
Yeah.
you're tapping into that power and making it easier to understand and remember information.
Okay, so tell me more about this Claude 3.7 Sonnet.
Sure.
It sounds like more than your average AI image generator.
It is. Claude is what's called a large language model, or LLM.
Okay.
That means it's built to understand and process text,
Okay.
which makes it perfect for tasks like this.
Yeah.
It's made by a company called Anthropic.
Okay.
And one of the things that sets it apart is its ability to create what are called artifacts.
Artifacts. That sounds mysterious.
Oh, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Artifacts allow Claude to generate code,
Uh-huh.
specifically HTML and CSS,
Okay.
which are the building blocks of web pages.
Right.
What's really cool about this is that instead of just like a static image,
Uh-huh.
Claude can create interactive, editable graphics.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's not just about making pretty pictures.
Right.
These graphics are structured and informative.
Exactly.
I'm also guessing it's way faster to create than hiring an artist to hand draw everything.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Much faster.
But I'm guessing there's some skill involved in getting Claude to create the kind of visuals you want.
You're exactly right.
Right.
It all comes down to what's called prompt engineering.
Prompt engineering.
Basically, you need to know how to give Claude very specific instructions so it understands what you want to create.
So it's like having a conversation with Claude,
Yeah.
guiding it toward the desired outcome.
Exactly.
Is there a specific way to craft these prompts to make sure that Claude gets it right?
There is.
Okay.
Thankfully, a developer named Maki has kind of cracked the code, so to speak.
Okay.
They've created detailed prompts that guide Claude towards creating various graphic recording styles.
So it's like Maki created a set of blueprints that anyone can use to get started with Claude.
Yeah.
These prompts tell Claude everything from colors and fonts to the layout, and even how to make it look hand-drawn.
Precisely.
Wow.
And these prompts are publicly available on GitHub.
Oh, cool.
One tip Maki recommends is using Claude's extended mode.
Extended mode.
It takes a few extra minutes for Claude to process,
Okay.
but it produces much higher quality results.
Right.
If you're looking for that polished professional look, it's definitely worth the wait.
I see what you mean, especially if you're using this for something important. Those few extra minutes could make a big difference.
Right.
So beyond the speed and ease of creation,
Yeah.
what are the benefits of using graphic recordings in the first place?
Sure.
Like, why should our listener be excited about this?
It comes down to the way our brains work.
Okay.
Research shows that combining visuals with text can boost information retention by a staggering amount.
Really?
I think 65% information retention with visuals and text.
Wow.
Compared to just 10% with text alone.
Wow. That is a huge difference.
Right.
Yeah, suddenly graphic recordings aren't just nice to have. They're like a powerful tool for actually learning and remembering information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a much better way to communicate as well.
I bet. This could also be a game changer for communication, especially in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to explain a complex idea to your team.
Right.
Or maybe you're presenting data to someone who isn't like a technical expert.
Yeah?
A graphic recording can bridge that gap in understanding and make things clear for everyone.
It's like that saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Exactly.
But in this case, it's also worth a whole lot of saved time and better communication.
Right.
I'm already thinking of ways I could use this in my own work.
Yeah.
It sounds like Claude can create different looks for these graphic recordings too, right?
You got it.
Not just one standard style.
In fact, we're just scratching the surface here.
Okay.
There's a whole world of visual styles Claude can create,
Oh, wow.
each with its own unique feel and purpose.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm excited to learn more about these different styles and how they can be applied to specific situations.
Well, let's dive into that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll explore the various visual styles that Claude can create,
All right.
from classic blackboards to modern whiteboards, and even some more unique options you might not expect.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
Okay, listener, we'll be back in a bit to explore those styles.
sounds good.
But before we go, let's recap what we've learned so far.
Okay.
Claude 3.7 Sonnet is an AI tool that allows you to easily create graphic recordings,
Right.
which are visuals that can help you understand and remember information better.
Exactly.
And we learned that creating these visuals is as easy as providing Claude with clear instructions, thanks to those handy prompts developed by Maki.
Right.
We also touched on the fact that visual communication isn't just about aesthetics.
Right.
It has a real impact on how we learn and remember information,
Absolutely.
making it a powerful tool for anyone from students to business professionals.
Yeah, this is about more than just pretty pictures.
Right.
It's about unlocking a whole new level of understanding and communication.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned. We'll be back soon to explore the exciting world of visual styles you can create with Claude.
Awesome. Can't wait. Welcome back. I'm ready to see what Claude 3.7 Sonnet can do when it comes to different graphic recording styles.
Not sure.
You mentioned everything from blackboards to whiteboards and even hinted at something unexpected.
Right.
Where should we start?
Well, let's begin with what most people probably imagine when they think of graphic recordings.
Okay.
The classic blackboard style.
Yeah, I can already picture it.
Right.
It's got that informal brainstorming kind of vibe,
Right.
like we're all working out ideas together.
Yeah.
And what's cool about Claude is that it can actually replicate that look and feel digitally.
Exactly. And when we dig into the prompt that Maki created for this style, we see that it's incredibly detailed.
Oh, wow.
It tells Claude to use a dark green background to mimic a chalkboard,
Okay.
white text to simulate chalk,
Yeah.
and even includes instructions on how to incorporate hand-drawn elements like borders,
Right.
arrows, and little doodles.
So it's not just about slapping some text on a green background.
Right.
Claude is actually creating a visual experience that's reminiscent of a real chalkboard.
Exactly.
I can see this being really effective for educational content.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to tap into that sense of nostalgia and familiarity.
You're right on the mark.
Okay.
The source material even mentions that using a familiar visual style like a chalkboard
Uh-huh.
can actually help people learn and remember information more effectively.
Oh, wow.
It's like tapping into those positive associations we have with learning environments.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
Okay, so we got the blackboard style, which is perfect for that relaxed, informal setting.
right.
What about something a bit more formal? Like, let's say I need to present some data to my team or maybe create a summary of a client meeting.
Sure.
What would you recommend?
In that case, the whiteboard style might be a better fit.
Okay.
Think of it as the modern professional counterpart to the blackboard.
So instead of that chalkboard texture and hand-drawn feel,
Uh-huh.
we're talking about something cleaner and more polished.
Exactly. The whiteboard style uses a clean white background,
Okay.
crisp lines,
Uh-huh.
sans serif fonts,
Right.
and a more minimalist aesthetic overall.
I see.
It's perfect for conveying information clearly and concisely without any unnecessary distractions.
I can see how that would be perfect for a corporate setting.
Right.
You could use it for things like meeting summaries,
Yeah.
project plans, financial reports, really anything where you need to get straight to the point.
Absolutely. And this is where the strategic use of visuals really comes into play.
Right.
By choosing a style that aligns with your content and your audience.
Uh-huh.
You're not just creating something that looks nice.
Right.
You're creating something that's effective in conveying your message.
I like how you put that.
Yeah.
It's all about making conscious design choices.
Right.
Even though Claude is the one doing the actual creation.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got blackboard and whiteboard. You mentioned something a bit more unexpected.
Right.
What else can Claude do?
Well, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about those artifacts that Claude can create?
Uh-huh.
It means that, in theory, Claude can generate any visual style,
Okay.
as long as it can be represented using HTML and CSS.
Hold on. You're telling me that with the right prompt,
Yeah.
Claude could potentially create a graphic recording that looks like anything.
That's the exciting part. And to prove it, Maki actually created a prompt that's based on the video game Splatoon.
Wow.
It's full of vibrant colors, bold graphics, and playful fonts.
Oh.
A completely different vibe from the blackboard or the whiteboard styles.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I can see how a style like that would be perfect for engaging a younger audience, or maybe for topics that need a bit of an energy boost.
Exactly. It all comes down to knowing your audience and your goals.
Right.
And this just scratches the surface of the possibilities.
Oh, wow.
There are styles inspired by Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks,
Okay.
vintage travel posters, minimalist infographics, really anything you can imagine.
This is blowing my mind. It feels like we're just starting to tap into the potential of this technology.
Right.
I'm also starting to realize that choosing the right style is just as important as the content itself.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's all about using visual strategically
Right.
to enhance your message and make it more impactful.
So where can our listener find all of these different styles and prompts? Is there a library somewhere with all of these options laid out?
The best place to start is on GitHub.
Okay.
That's where Maki has made all of these prompts publicly available.
Right.
You can browse through the different styles, see examples of what Claude can create,
Good.
and even download the prompts to try them out yourself.
That's fantastic. It sounds like a great resource for anyone who wants to start experimenting with Claude and see what's possible.
Exactly.
Before we move on, I want to touch on something you mentioned earlier.
Sure.
The idea that Claude can create any visual style as long as it can be represented with HTML and CSS.
Right.
Does that mean you need to be a coding expert to use this?
That's a great question, and the answer is no.
Okay.
Thankfully, you don't need to be a coding whiz to use these graphic recordings.
So how do we actually go about using and sharing these visuals once Claude has created them?
Well, that's where Google Sites comes in.
Okay.
Remember, Claude is generating HTML code, which is essentially the language of web pages.
Right.
So to make these visuals accessible and shareable,
Yeah.
we can embed them into a website.
And you're recommending Google Sites because it's free and easy to use,
Exactly.
even for someone who's not tech savvy.
Google Sites is a great tool for this.
Okay.
It's user-friendly, you
Yeah.
don't need to know any coding,
Right.
and you can easily share your graphic recordings with anyone by simply sending them a link.
That's awesome. So in a nutshell, we can create these amazing visuals with Claude using prompts that are readily available and then easily share them using Google Sites.
Exactly.
I'm already feeling more empowered to communicate visually.
That's what we like to hear. And remember, this is just the beginning.
Right.
As Claude continues to evolve, we're likely to see even more innovative and exciting ways to use this technology.
Okay, listener, I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
We've explored the different styles Claude can create, learned where to find those awesome prompts, and even discovered how to easily share our creations using Google Sites.
Exactly.
We've emphasized the importance of choosing the right visual style to match your message and your audience,
All right.
and hopefully spark some ideas for how you can use this technology in your own life.
I'm feeling inspired.
Now I want to see Claude in action. In the next part, why don't we walk through some real-world examples?
I love that idea.
We can grab some content,
Yeah.
try out different styles, and really bring this all to life.
Let's roll up our sleeves and dive into the practical side of things in the next part.
Sounds good. See you soon.
See you then.
Welcome back for the grand finale. We've talked about the why and the how of using Claude 3.7 Sonnet for graphic recordings.
Right?
Now it's time to see it in action.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to see what we can create.
Yeah,
Do you have some content in mind that we can transform into a visual masterpiece?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember those notes I mentioned earlier from a brainstorming session about a new project?
Uh-huh.
I think they'd be perfect for trying out the Blackboard style.
Yeah.
It was a really lively session,
Yeah.
full of ideas bouncing around.
Right.
And that informal chalkboard feel seems like a great fit.
I agree that style can really capture the energy of a brainstorming session and make it feel like we're all still in the room collaborating on those ideas.
Right.
Plus, research suggests that those familiar classroom visuals can actually help with memory retention.
Exactly. So I've got my notes pasted into the prompt.
Okay.
I've double-checked that I'm using the extended mode for the best quality.
All right.
And
Yeah.
let's hit generate. While we wait, let's break down what's happening behind the scenes.
Sure.
It's easy to take this technology for granted,
Right.
but what's happening is pretty remarkable. Claude is taking those notes,
Yeah.
which are just plain text
Right.
and transforming them into a structured visual representation of our brainstorming session.
It's really cool.
It's almost like having an AI assistant who can instantly sketch out our thoughts and ideas
Right.
in a way that's both engaging and informative.
Yeah.
And think about the time we're saving.
Oh, yeah.
In the past, we might have spent hours trying to create something like this by hand.
Totally. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. This technology frees up our time and mental energy
Right.
so we can focus on what really matters, the
Yeah.
content itself.
Exactly.
Okay. It looks like Claude has finished generating our graphic recording.
All right.
Drum roll, please.
Ooh, I'm excited to see this.
Yeah.
Wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I was hoping for. The chalkboard texture looks so real. The fonts have that perfect hand-drawn feel.
Right.
And the layout is clear and easy to follow.
Yeah.
Claude even added those little doodles and arrows to connect the ideas.
I know.
Just like a real graphic recorder would do.
It's amazing how much detail Claude can capture with just a few instructions.
I know, it really is. And remember, this isn't just a static image.
Right.
It's an interactive web page.
You can go in and edit the code.
Okay.
If you want to tweak the layout, change the colors, or add more visual elements.
You know, that's one thing that really impressed me about this whole process.
Yeah.
The level of control you have.
Right.
It's not just a case of, here's your graphic, take it or leave it.
Uh-huh.
You can actually tailor it to your specific needs and preferences.
Totally.
I could even embed this directly into a presentation or a document to make it even more engaging.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, let's switch gears and try a different style. Curious to see what Claude can do with that whiteboard look we talked about.
Okay, sure. I have just the thing. Why don't we use Claude to create a graphic recording of the key takeaways from our deep dive today?
Oh, it's a good idea.
It's a lot of information we've covered,
Yeah.
and I think the whiteboard style with its clean and professional aesthetic would be perfect for distilling everything down into a concise and memorable format.
I love that idea. It'll be like our own little meta graphic recording.
Right.
Graphic recording about graphic recordings.
Exactly.
Plus, it'll be a great example for our listeners
Yeah.
of how this technology can be used to summarize and share learnings from any type of content.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've pasted our outline and key points into a new prompt,
All right.
selected the whiteboard style,
Okay.
and let's hit generate.
While we wait, I want to hear what excites you the most about this technology.
Sure.
What makes this such a game changer in your eyes?
For me, it's the accessibility.
Okay.
You know, in the past, if you wanted a professional quality graphic recording,
Right.
you had to hire an artist, which could be expensive and time consuming.
Right.
Now, anyone with a computer and an internet connection can create these stunning visuals.
Yeah.
It's truly democratizing visual communication.
I see what you mean.
Right.
It's like putting the power of a design team at everyone's fingertips.
Exactly.
And it goes beyond just creating pretty pictures.
Right.
It's about empowering people to communicate more effectively and to learn more effectively.
Totally. Okay. Looks like our whiteboard style graphic is ready.
Let's see what Claude came up with.
All right.
Wow, this is clean. It's amazing how the minimalist design really allows the information to shine through. It's like a beautifully organized summary of everything we've talked about.
Yeah.
I could totally see myself using this after a big meeting or training session
Right.
to help everyone remember the key takeaways.
Exactly. It's all about making information more digestible and more memorable. And
Yeah.
what I find so inspiring is that this is just the beginning. As AI technology continues to evolve, I think we're going to see even more incredible applications in the world of visual communication.
Well said. Okay, listener, we've taken you on quite a journey today.
We have.
We've explored the power of graphic recordings, learned how to create them using Claude 3.7 Sonnet and those incredible prompts from Maki,
Right.
and even discovered how to easily share them using Google Sites.
Exactly. We've seen the blackboard style, the whiteboard style, and just hinted at the amazing variety of other options out there.
I know, right?
But more importantly, we've highlighted how this technology can empower you to become a more effective communicator and more engaged learner.
Absolutely.
It's been a deep dive into a world full of visual possibilities, and I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, I think so too.
We can't wait to see what you create.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, but we want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you for listening.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future deep dives.
And be sure to check out the show notes for links to all the resources we mentioned today.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
Keep diving deep.